Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and today I am so excited to be talking about my dark romance TBR. I have been in a fantasy romance and dark romance mood basically this whole year, minus some slumpy bits, but that's okay. I am definitely in a fantasy romance mood, but I've also been really enjoying my Mafia romance and my dark romances. So I just decided to talk about today all of the books that I'm excited to read that are like dark romance. And these are not going to include dark fantasy romance. That's going to be a different video. I'm going to do dark romance, dark fantasy romance recommendations, and dark fantasy romance TBR later on down the line. But this one is going to be dark contemporary romance. So think Mafia romance or secret society, dark themes, trauma, that kind of thing. And I'm really excited to talk about these books because they've been on my TBR for a bit, but I'm definitely more motivated to get to them. So if you like dark romance or fantasy romance, those are definitely my most read genres, especially recently. And if you are into those types of books, definitely click the subscribe button. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post new videos. You can check out all my social media links down below in the description, including my Patreon, my Goodreads, my Instagram, all that good stuff. It's all down below in the description. And don't forget to click the like button. It really helps my channel grow. So without further ado, let's get into these books. Okay, the first book I have here is Wolf by Paisley Hope. I, number one, am obsessed with this illustrator. Though I have not read any of the books that they have illustrated, I'm really obsessed with their artwork. So this one looks so good. It's a motorcycle club romance. I have tried one other motorcycle club book before. It didn't work out for me, but it wasn't necessarily because of the motorcycle aspects. I also hear this one is very spicy, a little bit insta love, which sometimes I really like in a dark romance. So especially if I'm in the mood for something a little extra spicy. So it looks like Gabriel Wolf is the head of this motorcycle club, and it looks like there's some suspense elements to this book too. I like a really sexy romantic suspense. So the synopsis gives very little information. Basically, there's the head of this motorcycle club, and then this girl shows up and they get together. Mostly this is vibes. I'm liking the vibes of the cover. I'm wanting a super spicy romantic suspense. Even for the reviews that don't like it, and also the reviews that really do like it, they're saying things that I like in a book like this that I'm looking for. So I'm thinking that even based on the DNFs, the 1 stars, and the 5 stars, based on what they're saying, this is a book that I'm going to enjoy. So I really hope I do. Okay, next is a book by H.D. Carlton. I have been wanting to try H.D. Carlton for a good long while, and it's kind of like I've been deciding, okay, which one should I start with? And I have decided, let's do a standalone. Let's do Does It Hurt? Now, this book I've heard all sorts of crazy stuff about. I've heard it is bonkers. I've heard about the shark scene. Okay, I've heard about the shark scene. And I know it's supposed to be very suspenseful too. A little bit like bonkers, like the characters are a bit bonkers, which I've really liked unhinged characters recently. So I'm thinking this could be a good way to start and try out H.D. Carlton. This is water on the cover. It's been on my TBR for a good long while. Those are 2 prompts that are on the bingo board for my Patreon's readathon in April. We're doing a rainy day readathon per like what they have voted on. I'm very excited for it. And 2 of the prompts for that readathon in April are water on the cover and a book you've been putting off. And I think this could be perfect. I'm also thinking about Sea of Ruin for that one too, which I guess I didn't have on this list, but that is a dark romance too. I guess I'll talk about that next. Okay, so I think this one is about a girl who steals from this dude, and the dude decides to seek revenge on her, and they somehow get stranded at this lighthouse island, something like that. And I think that there is like some suspense elements. I think it's spicy and bonkers and very dark as well. So I'm excited for this one. I might be reading it for my readathon, and that could be a lot of fun. If you're interested in joining that readathon, all the information is on my Patreon page. You actually get all the information about the readathon in a free video if you are even a free member of my Patreon. So you can go there, become a free member, watch the intro video that I filmed that's just all about the readathon and all the information. And if you're interested, you can become a paid member and join in on the readathon fun. It's going to be a good time. So the next book that I'm very interested in for this readathon is Sea of Ruin, and that's by Pam Godwin. This is a dark historical romance, and it's got pirates. I love pirates, and this has definitely been on my TBR for a very long time. I do own a physical copy, and I love pirates. I love the dark romance elements. From what I hear, this is quite dark. There is a lot of triggers. So for all of the books on this list, obviously check your trigger warnings. If you're talking about dark romance, you definitely need to check your trigger warnings if you have them. So this one is, I believe, a captor-captive situation. So both of those I think are going to be really great options for my TBR for that reason. Okay, the next one I have is a dark mafia romance. I have a few mafia romances on this list, and this one is called Little Mouse. This is by Emily Rose, and this one I think is a captor-captive, but specifically like captive in a cage of some sort, as you can tell like by the cover. The synopsis doesn't actually give much information other than apparently this girl crosses the path of this mafia dude and he takes her captive, puts her in a cage, and calls her his little mouse. And I guess our heroine has some secrets about her past and she like tries to escape, but he surprises her in somehow getting to know each other more. They kind of fall for each other. I don't know much more than that, but it sounds up my alley because it is a captor-captive. And it's the first book in this series. I think that each one follows a different couple in this Mafia series. Okay, next I have a book that I think I've talked about recently. I can't remember when, but it's When She Unravels, and this is by Gabrielle Sands. This is a dark mafia romance as well, and this one is set in Ibiza. And I think that we have a heroine who is running away from the mafia, maybe her mafia husband or maybe her mafia betrothed. I'm not quite sure on that one, but she runs away to Ibiza, tries to find a job there, and accidentally falls right back into the hands of the mafia, but it's a different mafia man. And he is the hero of the story, and the two have a relationship, obviously. So that one sounds very interesting to me. Number one, because I've never read a book set in Ibiza, but also number two, because I've heard a lot of very good things about it. Like, I don't know anyone that's rated it below a 4-star, but most of the ratings are 5 stars. Ooh, okay, so this one is very interesting. It's technically a mafia romance, but it's not really, I guess, the same as most mafia romances. This is called Counts of 8 by Bryn Ford. I've heard about this book from a number of creators that have really enjoyed it. And this is about a dancer. I believe she's a ballerina, and she is in service, like she is serving this mafia, and she is captive there. So she has to do what they say. And she has really over time been really beat down. And at this point, she's really not fighting back on anything. And there's this new person, this new dancer that comes in and is supposed to be dancing with her for the mafia. And he doesn't know ballet, and she has to like whip him into shape really fast. She's like really hard on him, I guess. And he kind of is able to see like she's been through so much trauma and that she's really not fighting back anymore, and kind of, I think he like helps her fight back some, and the two develop a relationship. And this is giving Save the Last Dance, but mafia is how I'm imagining it. Okay, so if I'm wrong, I don't know, but because of that, I'm very intrigued. Sorry if you hear one of my cats is yowling right now. Charlie, stop. Charlie. I don't know what to do about him. Okay, we'll just talk about this. It's another mafia romance, and this is Jagger Cole's Deviant Hearts. This one is very intriguing to me because this is written by a man, and I've never read a romance book written by a man before, I don't think. Like, I've read cozy fantasy that has romantic elements, or fantasy books that have romantic elements, then maybe, but like I've never read like a romance written by a man. And from what I've heard, Deviant Hearts is a very good one. I don't know much about it, but it has been on my radar for a while now because I've only ever heard really good things about that one. So I did want to point that one out. And then I also have The Monster of Hotel Number 7 by K.V. Rose. I don't know much about this one. The synopsis on Goodreads is kind of like hard to tell. Okay, so this one is not a mafia romance. So unlike the last few I talked about, this one is a cult, I believe. So it says that the heroine is the princess of Wraith, a secret society slithering with evil. So maybe not a cult, a secret society. I have really liked Chantal Tessier's Secret Society series, so I'm very hopeful about this one. And it looks like the heroine has known the hero, and then he kind of like disappears and she doesn't see him for years, and then he shows back up and something happens between the two of them and they develop a relationship. The way this is written, I'm wondering if they are step siblings, to be honest, because it says that she's the princess of Rife, and it's for him, it says that his father was the former leader of Rife. So I don't know if it's a family rivalry or if they're like somehow step siblings. I don't know if there's some taboo elements in this one, but it sounds very intriguing to me because I like secret society, cult, those kind of things, especially in a dark romance. I love. Okay, so the next book I want to read is by Kay Webster. I've never read anything by Kay Webster before, but I've heard a lot of really good things about their books. So this one I think is like a master-slave type of relationship. It's called Dirty Ugly Toy, and it is about this dude Braxton who likes to have toys, as in women, for like 6 months at a time, where he does whatever he wants to them, and he likes to pick women up off the streets for this job, offers them like $500,000, and Jessica, who is an addict, she takes the offer, and apparently she's a lot more challenging than he was ready for, and it sounds really good. This sounds very good. I like a little bit of that master-slave relationship dynamic kind of thing, especially like, I think it's going to blur the lines of consent, kind of dubious consent, but at the same time, like, she did sign up for this, which obviously, like, real life, real world, no. Fictional world, okay, yes, maybe. So obviously we're talking fiction here. This is definitely intriguing to me, and I think that one, I hope I like that one. Okay, and then finally I have Binding Rose by Ivy Fox. I have not read anything by this author either, and I think this is going to be a why choose Mafia dark romance, and we have our heroine who I think she grew up as a cartel princess. She's supposed to be delivered to the Irish mob, I guess, as like for marriage, and now, I don't know how this becomes a why choose, but I know she's promised to the Irish mob. I don't know if that's who she ends up with, but it's a why choose. She is a cartel princess, and so it's potentially mafia, like Mexican cartel with Irish mob, but I could be wrong there. But it does sound really good. I know there is a few Mafia dark romances on my TBR. If you can check out my Goodreads. I'm going to be trying to change to Storygraph, but I need the time to do it on my computer because every time I try to do it on my phone, I just have too many books on Goodreads, on my Goodreads shelves, to be able to download to go to Storygraph. So I think I need to do it on my computer, which just means I need to remember to do it the next time on my computer. So I will be switching to Storygraph. I guess I'll probably let you know when I do that. For now, it's Goodreads, which is linked down below if you want to check out the rest of the books on my dark romance TBR, because there's more. These are just the ones that I wanted to talk about today that are like on the top of my radar. Currently, right now, I'm like, I want to pick one of these up. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you like me doing some dark romance content. And if you did, don't forget to click the like button and comment. Put down below with your dark romance recommendations for me. I'm always looking for more recommendations. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and follow me on my social media. Check out my Patreon if you're interested in that readathon. Like I said, you can check it out and watch the announcement video for free as a free member if you so choose, and become a paid member if you want to partake in the readathon. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.
Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.